们今天来到了卓越杯 ACE 位于美国波特兰的总部，这是最新的评分表。Hello, Gary.
Natalia, how are you?
Hello.
Welcome to ACE's headquarters. It's so nice to have you finally here.
Yeah, I'm very excited too about our interview today.
We're going to have, to all our members out there, to all our viewers, we're going to have an interview with Natalia from Ingenuity to talk a bit more about the program. And I do want to introduce you to our headquarters. We're based here in Portland, Oregon. This is where all the behind the work happens. This is our ACE lab, and it's a certified lab, and we rent it for courses.
他们现在在上 Q 的 calibration course， 那边是杯测桌，在准备杯测的样品。Hello， 样品烘焙机。今天呢，我在波特兰的 COE 的总部，就美国波特兰，很高兴今天可以有机会去采访 COE 的负责人，就是赛事的负责人。因为其实 COE 在国内也有很多的，我们很多年都金牌了 COE， 也有不少是国内 COE 的评委。那其实，但是后面加入我们行业的，可能对 COE 不太的熟悉和了解，所以这次呢，趁着在美国参加波特兰咖啡 SCA 咖啡展会的这个机会呢，我们就来到这里，可以近距离的去了解跟采访一下 COE 到底是一个怎样的一个机构，到底 COE 对精品咖啡整个的发展做了哪些贡献，又有怎样举足轻重的一个地位呢？ Hello, Gary. Yeah, Natalia from Ingenuity Coffee.
Hello, Natalia.
Yeah, so we know that a cup of excellence is very important, especially on the development of specialty coffee. So can you introduce more about this organization for us, and also, of course, yourself?
Okay, yes. Well, Natalia, first of all, I want to thank you for being here. It's a pleasure to have you here in our Portland-based office. Thank you I know you've come a long way. We've had a very good week over the SCA trade show last week. So yeah, it's very nice that we can have the opportunity to have a member. My name is Gary. I am from Honduras, and I am currently based in Honduras when I'm not traveling, because you can imagine we have to travel a lot for the Cup of Excellence. I am the managing director, and I've been with the organization for 5 years. I began in COE as a field coordinator, overlooking Central America, Mexico, and a bit of South America. Then I took on an auction manager, and I'm currently the managing director, overseeing the coordination of the programs around the world. Introducing a bit myself, I began in coffee back in 2012, 2012 or 13, I'm not sure. When a friend of mine just called me because he wanted me to be a bank reference. So he told me there's a position at an exporter. I went to the exporter, and basically I went into the mail in Honduras, in San Pedro Sula, and I entered the mail, and I thought to myself, what science can there be in this business? Like, this does not look fun. And fast forward 10, 11 years ahead, here I am, having the blessing of managing the most prestigious coffee competition in the world. So the Cup of Excellence, it's a program that was born in Brazil in 1999.
Yeah, I know.
It was Brazil. It was founded by Susie Spindler. She's an advisor to the board nowadays, and well, I think someone that I consider my friend and a mentor for me. So back in the day, in 1999, coffees in Brazil were just being basically mixed in exporters. Yeah. And farmers didn't have a recognition for their coffees. They didn't have somewhere that their coffee could be rewarded. So Susie said, we need to do something to help these farmers out. Yeah. And that's how it began, basically 23 years ago, Cup of Excellence. And nowadays, we're in many origin countries around the world. We have global membership in many countries with people and companies like Ingenuity who are dedicated, and they have the compromise towards farmers of paying right prices for good coffee. Great coffee.
When I was in Ethiopia in March, and I did an interview with the first COE Ethiopia champion. He said he has been working for coffee for more than 20 years, but he only when after he won the Cup of Excellence champion, he really get benefits from it.
Of course, and I think that's very interesting. And we were having a talk with some other attendants in the trade show yesterday, exactly on that. When the Cup of Excellence comes, we change the lives of farmers. But not only farmers, we can see Cup of Excellence has an impact in a whole region. because maybe a neighboring farm to this farmer, to the actual winning farmer, someone will say, well, you know what, we didn't know such a great coffee came for this region. So the impact goes beyond only one farmer. It goes to a community. So it's a very impactful.
Yeah. And I think this is very, very meaningful.
It is meaningful and it is rewarding.
Yeah. So how many COE competitions you ever participate and organized?
Since we began in 1999, I'm going to go thinking of the map of the world. Mexico, Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Bolivia, Peru, Colombia, Brazil, Ecuador, Indonesia, Burundi, Rwanda. We are organizing also competitions in Thailand.
Wow, cool.
Yes.
In so many Cup of Excellence competitions, there is a specific one that is very unforgettable for you.
I would say my first one.
The first one. Can you tell us more
Yeah,
detail?
it was Nicaragua, my first international competition.
Which year?
2018.
Oh, okay.
It was because it was my first. I had already been working in coffee before.
Yeah.
But not in the most prestigious competition.
Yeah.
And I knew the rules. I knew what was going to happen. I knew what the rules and everything that had to happen behind the scenes organizations. But when we're actually there and you see the whole team and you see all the gears in action and so many people working together, when you see those farmers going up to the stage and getting their diplomas and the smiles on their faces, I fell in love with the program. I just fell in love with the program. I fell in love with what I do, what we do as a team. We have a great team, a very close-knitted and great team around the world. So it's unforgettable because it was my first one.
Where's your team? Can you maybe introduce?
We're based here in Portland right now.
Yeah.
We're here specifically for the SCA trade show, which concluded yesterday, as we said before. But we are globally based. For example, my colleague Katia Lopez, she's Nicaraguan, Honduran, but she's based in Italy.
Oh.
Gabriela Salcedo, she's our logistics manager, and she's based in Bogota, Colombia. We also have, Cici Su, that she helps us oversee everything in China. She's based in China. I myself am based in Honduras. So yeah, we're a pretty global community where we have put a pause right now in the Ethiopia program, but we also had a team member in Ethiopia at that time.
So you have a team all over the world.
We are in so many time zones, we need to be available. So we try to be everywhere.
Yeah, because it's a team all over the world and sometimes long distance and you have to hold a lot of competitions and auctions. So you said there are some difficulties you faces.
I think every competition, every country, every industry in the world has difficulties.
Yeah.
I've learned in Cup of Excellence, I've changed the word problems and difficulties to challenges.
Yeah.
It just makes it sound nicer, right? And a challenge is something you can achieve and you can overcome and you can learn from.
Yeah.
There's many different challenges. I mean, it's so wide, the amount of challenges, from trying to make farmers understand the rules to logistics, sometimes to try to make the people that are in other countries to understand why this is so valuable.
Yeah.
So
you mean the consumption?
Everything. I mean, the challenge is everywhere.
Consumer countries.
Trying to make consumer countries and consumer people understand why this coffee is not expensive, it's valuable. Why is there a value behind this coffee? So the challenges are so wide, but of course, the biggest challenge we had was when we had COVID a couple of years ago. And we had to pivot because we had always been doing international juries where people actually fly to the countries.
Yeah.
So we had to design a program to make COE happen, but with international juries based all around the world. Coffee didn't stop in COVID. We could not stop. We had to keep on pushing forward. We had to keep on working, helping farmers. So that was the biggest challenge. And of course, with that came also the logistics. We all know what happened in logistics back in 2020. It was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. Like, I usually say, like, I'm grateful I lived through that because I learned. We all learned so much, but I wouldn't want to leave it again.
Me too. Me neither.
Yeah, yes.
So we are very grateful, right?
Yes.
For sometimes happens something and then we learn from it.
Of course.
To treasure more what we have.
Of course.
What other competitions will you have in the following 3 years?
Sometimes things happen fast. We are working. I will not disclose which country, but it's a very exciting country. I'm just going to say we're working, trying to get Cup of Excellence back in Africa. As you know, we were in Ethiopia. We've had approaches with different countries. We just have to be careful and try to select and very much choose the countries because we want to give every country that great experience of COE and give them the full attention every country deserves. So we are working in Africa right now. We're working with a country in Africa to try to bring it sooner than later. And I'm sorry, I will not disclose the country name, but please keep posted. We're working on it, and we're very excited to make it happen. And I'm sure you will be very interested. So I'll leave that surprise for you.
So excited.
It will be very exciting. And we're open. I mean, we're open to exploring possibilities in countries around the world where there's quality, there should be COE.
Do you have plan, or so you have planned to maybe begin to work on China COE in the future?
Right now, I'm gonna speak on both, on market and on producing side. On market, we all know the potential of the Chinese market. It's just a huge potential. Who doesn't want to sell to China? It's a dream of everyone to sell to the biggest market in the world. And we've gone in China. We have a very broad membership in China.
Yeah.
I will have to tell you, yes, we encounter challenges to deliver the coffee in China, but we've been able to successfully pivot these challenges and actually deliver the coffee in China, and we're learning every day from it. And there's a learning curve. There's a learning curve in any business in the world, in any industry. There's a learning curve. The thing is, how do we overcome it? How do we learn from this challenge?
Yeah.
And this is what we're doing in China, and I think we're doing good. And we're very proud to have this growing Chinese membership. And regarding your question also on the Chinese producing, as I told you, why not in the future? Wherever there's quality, there should be COE. So we're open to possibilities. We're open to exploring markets. There is a process, of course. There is a process that takes a couple of years to achieve a successful competition. So we're open to exploring the possibilities around the world, in China and around the world.
Yeah, because in the recent years, I think since 2015, that I'm accompanying the development of the Yunnan coffee, the China specialty coffee, and also really they develop a lot, improve a lot. Yeah, so of course, a lot of roasters and baristas, and they go to the region to communicate, to talk, to help the farmers to improve. And the farmers and also a lot of people now are living in China, in Yunnan province, to process the coffee, process the cherry to improve the quality. So I really hope someday Yunnan can be one of.
Why not?
Yeah, cup of excellence.
I've always admired very much, and I'll speak the history of a country such as China, where you see the historical dynasties, the huge success. China is a culture around the world. So I think if you apply that success as a culture, if you follow that history, how you've done things right to the coffee industry, some nice things can be achieved.
So how ACE select a country can have COE or not? Can have COE or not?
There's not a specific standard path. It's more kind of like I would say case by case. We know certain countries like for example, I will say Ethiopia, who didn't want to have COE Ethiopia. Yet we have to check: do we have a right in-country partner? Is there capable people there that can help us organize? Is there an exporter willing to bring in COE coffees? So there's many factors involved, and of course, the quality of the coffee. That's a must. And we do it, and we do help. Also, we've encountered at times that maybe a country is in the process of getting to COE, so we accompany them over the years until we think we can have the wide factors, all the scope of factors that will allow this country to have a COE. So as I'm telling you, there's many factors involved, all the way from quality to processing, logistics. Exactly. There's many, and we take it more on a case-by-case basis.
Yeah, I know, because Cup of Excellence program is a month's work. You have the first selection, national round, and then international.
We have pre-selection. We actually begin in jury selection, where we select the cuppers that will be cupping the COE coffee selecting. So that's quite a process, because we want to make sure we have the best panel that understands coffee. Then after pre-selection, we have the national jury, we have the international jury. So it is a lot of work.
Yeah. Yes. Recently, there is in the recent, I think, 8 years, has a lot of new process, innovative process. What do you think this process good influence on the industry, on coffee, and also maybe for Cup of Excellence competition?
That's a very interesting matter, because if we look at history, and when I talk to many people that have been in this industry for decades already, maybe we think about what did people think of a natural process 25 years ago. Let's think about it, and we say a natural process 25 years ago, what's this? Let's just throw it to the garbage. This is a weird coffee.
25 years ago, it's only washed.
Only washed.
Clean
wash. Only clean wash. And now we have some great some great natural, some great honeys out there. And we see them thriving in our competitions. We just have to be very careful because there is a fine line on innovation and, actually killing the essence of the coffee. So we have a very passionate team of head judges, a board of directors, of staff, that we see what happens to make decisions on what can we consider as acceptable and not. Once again, as we were talking before, it's also another case-by-case basis. I do want to mention right now, and we are working as a team with a board, with the head judges, with all our collaborators, to exploring the possibility of categorizing the auction. What does this mean? Categorizing an auction means that you will have a part of the auction the same day, everything stays the same, but you will have a category for washed, for example, then a category for honey and naturals, and a category for processes. Because what tends to happen is that if you have a very nice, clean, washed coffee, and then you have maybe a different process right next to it, a natural, maybe the natural will shadow the wash just because of the process. So we need to give every coffee a fair court where they can play in.
Yeah, of course.
And compete in, of course.
Yeah, of course. So in the coffee competitions, Top of Excellence, you divided natural honey and washed?
Currently, no. Right now, as of April 2023, everything is going to the same competition. But this is an opportunity of improvement we're working on, because we see this that I'm telling you. We see we want to give coffees a fair opportunity, all coffees a fair opportunity, and we want to deliver also to the markets around the world a fair opportunity. We, of course, it's a fact that the Asian market at times could be driven more by, let's say, louder flavors. I would say processes that are louder.
Intense.
Exactly, that are more enhanced. And then we have more traditional markets like the North American market, like the European market, where they're more washed. So not only we want to give coffees a fair chance, and farmers a fair chance, because some farmers can have more resources to work on one process than others. Actually, we want to give our members and we want to give buyers an opportunity to properly select what they want.
So maybe you will have, AC will have some changes.
We're working on it. We have already confirmed a couple of countries that will take it on. Right now, as you know, Central America is going to happen in Thailand. And after Central America, the second semester, we have Peru, we have Colombia, Ecuador, Indonesia, I hope I'm not missing, and Brazil. And some of these countries will be already adapting this new auction categorization.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so we will not be seeing it in Central America, Thailand, and Mexico, but we might be seeing it. We're working towards it.
Wow, so nice, so good. So what's your opinion about the Chinese coffee market, and what about also suggestions is very welcome for our Chinese producer and I think all coffee industry worker. I
think the Chinese, as I said before, the Chinese market currently is everyone's dream. Why? Because it's the amount of coffee that can be consumed in China. Not only that, we see how passionate the Chinese are about coffee, how passionate they are about learning coffee.
Yes.
They're very passionate. So it's not only about seeing how big the market is, it's actually about seeing the driving people to learn about coffee.
Yes.
And I would say, as a recommendation, I think improvement opportunity is for China, maybe on the import side, because sometimes the logistics processes can be a bit challenging. And for example, I have encountered times that maybe the regulations are different in one part of China and other, but it's a work in progress. I mean, it's something that can be achieved. And for all the industry workers out there, is learn about everything. Read. We have internet nowadays.
Yes.
Not only learn about how to prepare a very nice cup of coffee, but actually go into the internet and learn how is the coffee harvested, what are the right processes. So try to learn as much coffee as possible to understand it and get to understand the value coffee has. Yeah, because Chinese market actually is very new in coffee. We have a very short compared to other countries like Brazil or like US.
we have a very short history of plantation, and also consumption. Yeah, so I do totally agree with what you say, because we not only focus on brewing a good coffee, but also we need to see in a bigger scale to understand more about the world of coffee.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we learn something new every day. And I'm gonna tell you, we export to so many countries, we do so many competitions, and I learn every day. When I think I've seen it all, when I think something new happens, and I learn something new. Yeah. So sometimes we win and sometimes we learn. That's how I like to take it.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And thank you so much for your time today to talk and communicate with us. And I cannot wait to see one day we can cup together in a Chinese Yunnan COE competition. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Natalia, for being here. It's been a pleasure to receive you here at the Portland-based office. And to all of our members out there, specifically to the China market, thank you for the support. Thank you for pushing forward with COE coffees, and thank you for being members. Thank you, Ingenuity Coffee, and thank you, Natalia, for your time.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Natalia. I hope you liked our lab. That's our lab, and well, this is our ACE office. It's a nice view of the Portland. I'm not sure of the name of the bridge. As you might know, I'm based in Honduras, but I have to often come here for
and I saw a coffee tree.
Work. Yeah, we have a coffee tree. It's not very happy with the Portland weather. I apologize, but we try
it's cold here, I think.
He doesn't like the Portland weather. We try to keep him happy as much as possible. I'm very sorry for tree. They're very bad for it.